So with Deadlock going public, there's a lot of guides being made for new players, but a lot of them are also being made by new players. So, as a highly Yamato player with over 500 hours and over 300 games on her, this is how to actually play Yamato. As one of the strongest rulers in the game, she has advantages in almost every 1v1 and even 1v2s, so you can really take control of the game. Because of the 1v1 potential, she's a really strong split pusher, but she can also become an invaluable asset in team fights later in the game. Before going into the actual playstyle, just understanding some quick combos and techs will really help you in your games. The dash slash is one of the most basic combos for Yamato. It's really just pressing dash and then your one in quick succession, and you'll carry a lot of momentum and you can really increase your range and surprise your opponents in lane. This tech is especially useful in lane, but you can really use it with every slash you throw out in game.
Kelvin's so cool.
Dude, Dynamo's fucked.
Ice gun.
Nice, I'm dead.
Alright, Nate, you got this.
Stupid piece of shit game, bro.
For some quick burst, just alt fire and then light melee right after. If you're dash jumping past someone, you can also just do this as you pass them. While you slide in Deadlock, you also have infinite ammo. You can abuse this by just quickly sliding on staircases and alt firing at the same time to waste zero ammo while you poke them. When you charge your slash, you can actually still mantle. So if you go up to a short wall and then hold W in space while you're charging your one, you'll climb and then you can shoot your one as you go over.
Oh my god. Wait, the tax attack.
Your grapple is a long end-leg animation, so instead of letting that play, just press space to cancel it and then alt fire melee for more quick burst. This will also put you just behind them, which makes it hard for them to hit you, and also gives you time to charge up your one to hit them again. If you're running away or trying to grapple somebody out of range, if you grapple and then cancel the space and quickly double jump, you'll keep your momentum and go super far.
Oh my god.
When you use your 3 right after dashing, it actually goes in front of the dash instead of where your camera looks. So if you cancel your dash with slide and then use your 3, it'll actually turn the 3 so it actually goes in front of you. If somebody like Pocket or Wraith is TPing away from you, you can actually grapple their body and then it'll follow them all the way through the TP and you'll still catch up to them even if they're out of range. The timing on something like Pocket can be really hard and doesn't always work, but if you just spam the mouse button, it is the best you can do. And with Wraith, it's kind of just luck based and timing based. So refresh is one of your best items, and knowing the cooldown cycle to use it the most efficiently is really important. The best cycle is to just use your cooldowns, ult, use your cooldowns again, use refresher while in ult, use your cooldowns again while you're in your ult, and then use your cooldowns again. And if you're taking a lot of damage or getting silenced while this is happening, just make sure to pop the second ult before the first ult actually ends so you don't get silenced and they can't stop your ult. Whenever you're doing your combos and fighting people, make sure you're weaving in as many alt fires and melees as you can without getting parried. Alt fires give a lot of burst damage and really nice damage just between your abilities, and your light melees will apply a Spirit Strike debuff, which gives a minus 12% Spirit resist for 6 seconds. There's a few good Yamato builds. Innates and Jukesses are also really good, but I have my own build, so everything in this will just be assuming you use mine. Those two, and most spirit builds in general, will play similarly, but not the exact same. So when you're laning on Yamato, the most important thing is to just apply constant pressure with your one. You have kind of a shitty gun for CS, so just making sure they stay back and they back on their Guardian Just makes it a lot easier for you to melee last hit and to steal their souls as well. You should be using your dash slash pretty much off cooldown and just forcing them back. Make sure you're using the giant hitbox of her 1 to hit people if they're hiding behind cover or even around corners. If they get low enough and you can't commit to a kill, you can tower dive them, but most of the time, you're just playing to poke. Against heroes with strong guns and fast fire rates like Haze, Wraith, and Infernus, putting 1 point into your 1 early can be really helpful because it basically turns off their gun and makes any matchup in a 1v1 scenario favorable for you. Against shotgun and close range heroes like Abrams, just keeping at max range for your 1 and still doing as much poke as you can is most important to deny them the value that they want as well. If you're against something like a Great Talent or Vindicta in lane, ask them to swap. You don't want to be there. But if you do get stuck there, just try to CS as much as possible and play safe. You really can't kill them or do anything to them. Once you kill your Guardian, start going over to the lanes next to you and ganking, killing people, and taking as many Guardians as you can. As soon as the tier 2 camps spawn at 7 minutes, you should be going and doing them as soon as possible. Just push up your minion wave, and then go and leave into the tier 2s, and then come back and periodically make sure you're not losing your Guardian while you're still farming as many souls as possible. If you see a good opportunity, you can still gank and get kills in other lanes, but it's not your priority. You're just trying to level your 1 as much as possible and get a soul lead. Once you clear most, if not all, of the tier 2 camps on your side of the map, you can start looking for more ganks and also split pushes. If you see that a team is grouped up really heavily on one side of the map, you can simply just push the other side of the map and pressure walker damage. You can pull attention back to that lane, and sometimes you can take walkers for free. Because Yamato is one of the best 1v1s in the game, if they only send 1 person, you can usually win that 1v1 and then continue killing the walker. If they send a lot of people, you can back off and often live with your ult, and if you have good movement and pathing. Also, if you know they're going to send a lot of people, you can show yourself with a walker, do a tiny bit of damage, and then leave, and they'll still send a ton of people, and you'll still be taking attention. In a late game, you're much more focused on team fighting rather than split pushing and doing objectives. And there are basically, in my build, there are 2 main ways you can go down. Against tanky teams, when you build Torment, Pulse, and Escalating Exposure early, you want to exist as long as you can in the fight to build up your escalating exposure stacks and do the most amount of damage possible. A lot of the time, you can even do upwards of 1600 damage to people in 1 slash. Against squishier teams, you want to play more off angles and play a little bit more pokey, and you can do a ton of damage and still almost one-shot people with your 1 if you have reverb and a lot of stacking damage. When your team does mid-boss, if the other team has multiple people alive and they have stuns, you should be ulting as the crystal comes down, so you're immune to any stuns and you can take the rejuve for your team for free. If the other team is doing mid-boss, then you should be camping above the mid-boss, and as it drops, you ult, drop down, and you can either instantly punch the crystal, or you can parry and block their punches and then take it for yourself. If you have any questions or want to learn more about Yamato or just enjoy a stream, I stream almost every day, so I'll put the link in the description. And let's make the top Yamato build a spirit build instead of that shitty gun build that's at the top.